Welcome back to the showdown at the Alleyway. Finch here, joined by JMac Tucker again at the toast. That's at the tournament rather. That's owned and operated by Aliway. She's doing a great job here today, and we're moving into the set between Team Tree and between Ding Ding Slaps. Ding Ding Slaps, of course, up 1-0 right now, so a chance to take this whole tournament and the gem prize as well.
Bands almost identical to last game, but Hera let through this time and Bacchus banned away, realizing that Bacchus was a massive problem for them last game between the damage that he put out and also really, I always feel like sometimes it's overlooked how much anti-heal that Belch really provides for him.
It is actually pretty nice, and it also makes your job easier when the Vamana that you'd really normally like to anti-heal, you don't have to worry about that much because he's so behind, because he never bought boots. So we'll see if that ends up being the case this game, as the Robin taken away very quickly from Oswald Jr., not letting him pick that one up. Waluigi's going to have it for himself, and he needs to have a better game, just like plain and simple. There's no other way to say it. The Cirquette did not get it done last time, so maybe this Robin, if it goes to him, will be the difference.
I mean, if we're being real here, I really didn't even see Baby Waluigi doing a whole lot of anything last game. We never really had those big moments we were calling him out there, maybe during a team fight getting a good last breath or two off, but outside of that, his pressure wasn't really made on any part of the map that I could tell.
No, I didn't really see any that stuck out to me either, as the Athena comes through for Oswald Jr., this pick being prioritized early on. But you mentioned it about the bans. There's still a lot of good stuff that's out there. We didn't see King Arthur picked or banned, I don't think, in game one. We don't see it here yet. We don't see Hera banned yet either. There's still a lot of high-value picks that are out there to be grabbed.
Yeah. Now, I'm not for sure if maybe Arthur, just like Merlin, is kind of this soft ban here in this competition. Unsure if the players are able to even pick him or not, because I know that there were some bugs happening with King Arthur that maybe some people were still a little on the fence about, so possible that he's just not even available for these players at the time. And if that's the case, then that might be why we're not seeing him here at all. But still, to me, Hera left open compared to last time. We mentioned how Ding Dings, I believe, was actually the team that banned her away. Do you think maybe we'll actually see them pick her up this time?
I would like to see it. Hera's very strong right now, and there is some degree of comfort, maybe like in her build path. If you have to adjust it mid-game, there's still a lot to figure out there. But I think she's strong enough and not too complex enough to where you can get a lot out of her, even if you don't have a ton of reps in with her. So I'd like to see her get prioritized over on the side of Baby Waluigi and the rest of Team Tree. But they're going to prioritize this Geb, which I think was actually banned last time. No, they're baiting me. They don't want the Geb.
Nah, nobody wants Geb. I don't know why. No, Geb is a great pickup here, and I think it's one of the better ones that you kind of have to almost get when you're going up against the Athena. We saw it a lot during Worlds when Athena was so heavily prioritized. It was almost always either Chiron or Geb following right up after it. And I think this Cupid is actually going to do a lot more for this team than we're kind of giving credit for, as Cupid has a decent matchup against Athena and Erlong Shen with that cripple in his ultimate.
No, I do occasionally go over to design JMac and talk to those guys. And Cupid's one of those gods that low key is always up near the top, especially lately, just in terms of Hunter like win percentage. So I never doubted when I see a Cupid get picked, because I know he can win games, especially on people who are comfortable with him. So we'll see if that's going to be the idea here from Team Tree, if maybe this Cupid's a bit of a pocket pick for him.
And surprisingly, it's on the side of Lado's team who's picking this one up, where last time we saw Lado almost snap pick the on her. This time he's going a little bit of a different route, not going for the early boxer and going more for the team fight oriented and kind of the team supportive Hunter with this Cupid.
On the other side, Soul coming in again. I believe that was Lone Uncle that we saw pilot this last time. So I wonder if he's going to grab this one again. Devonator, obviously the support for this team, so they'll be swapping these around to someone else. And look at this. Hera makes it through the second ban phase, and I find myself scratching my head because she's just so good, but not going to be seen here in this game.
I think maybe Tree was trying to bait and see if they could keep it going and keep it out there for them and maybe pick it up in the next phase if possible, but I don't think that either team are too upset about taking that one away. Maybe Ding Ding Slaps a little more upset that they had to ban it after all this time, when they could have picked it up themselves. I'm surprised they didn't, instead electing just to get Lone Uncle back on a comfort pick.
Yeah, and they're banning away the Raijin. They're banning away a lot of mid laners this time, so there really might be a chance that we're going to see another Hunter mid, but it won't be Kerninos. Nope. Just as I said it, he was banned away. I think that's the right call if you're on Team Tree, because I'm getting a lot of signals that that's what they were thinking of.
Yeah, the Kerninos was shredding through that Vamana in the late game. When when we saw the engage onto Granite Fiber in that solo lane with the Bacchus belly flop over the wall, just a few autos is all it took from Kenny Alpha to from Griffin Age to really pump that damage out into Granite, and we saw just how much that Runeforge can really come in big for them. We also see the Shibalanke ban as well, one of those big late game basic attack oriented hunters who can really pump out a lot of damage thanks to his passive.
Mercury being considered. This is directed directly at my heart, I assume, as Mercury is one of my favorite gods in the game, especially when Golden Blade was at its previous glory. But still, it can feel nice on this Mercury, and it has been locked in as well. So this is going to be in the jungle, I assume. So hopefully we'll be able to see Oswald make some nice plays on this.
If his first ability was increased to the size it used to be back in the older seasons and Golden Blade procced on it like it used to, Mercury solo used to be a really fun thing to do, because as soon as the wave is cleared, you just pull them all together and you hit them with the wave once with your one, and they're all gone. That's just how you cleared wave as Mercury. Once you hit that level, it's like 6, 7, you insta-cleared wave with it. But
this can't be true. Granite Fiber's going to play Vamana again? Oh, no. JMac, I'm sorry.
Will he get over his biggest hurdle, though?
I can't. I don't think I can endorse this. I don't think I can watch it.
Put it in the jungle.
Yes,
give it to
please,
Waluigi.
Anywhere else. Yes.
Yo, let's give him Geb jungle. Why not?
Let's
just go all out.
I would love it if Granite Fiber ran this Vamana back and he just fragged out on it. I would love that.
He was baiting us the whole time.
Yeah, but right now it's got me. It has me feeling rough. I do want to point out that not only did Ding Ding Slaps wait on their hunter picks, they're kind of baiting out what it is they're going to be giving over to either to Griffin Age or to Lone Uncle, but it's Kronos and Cupid selected for Team Tree, so the physical hunter and the magical ADC. But no, just a regular old mage is being hovered right now. Agni being selected.
When in doubt, just pick up an Agni, because why not? Agni is definitely amongst the top of the mages right now. I feel that a lot of players on the lower end of the scene are not giving Agni as much credit as he deserves. He has a lot of very safe and high damage bursts when the late game comes. Those bombs start hitting for 700-800 apiece, and he's also one of the better Divine Ruin appliers of the mages because of how safe he's able to poke. And even just drop the Noxus Fumes, they only do 20 damage per tick late game, but instantly that's a Divine Ruin proc.
They got to trade again. Okay, thank you. I thought they were going to give him on there for later.
Whoa, hold on here. Failure was the mid laner last game. But he's on Cupid.
Cupid mid, yes.
This is now, this is a bit of a throwback to AVGL season, I want to say 3 this was. This is a bit of a Sheikah shuffle here, as Sheikah liked to play the crazy hunters in the mid lane, and Cupid was one of those gods that he liked to play here. So maybe we're seeing a little bit of throw into an homage to old Sheikah here as we get ready to go into this game.
We are going to be moving right into game number 2. This could very easily, JMac, be the last game as well. It's a lot on the line for Team Tree, as they're already down to 1 game. And if they lose again here, it's only a best of 3. They will be sent home, and Ding Ding Slaps will certainly have slapped on the back end. They're trusting in this all-important game to a Cupid in the middle lane. And not just that. To me, that's the B story. The A story is they're trusting Granite on Vamana again. I can't believe it.
It can't be the B story. He's not playing the Cupid B skin.
Oh, I see what
it's the C. It's the C story.
He's on base Cupid too.
Yeah, C for
I wonder if that was a C story for Cupid. I wonder if that was a tournament role, because they're all on base skins.
I'm about to say they are all on base skins, so it might be a tournament thing. Which a lot of the base models are still pretty nice on these guys, especially Vamana's new base model. Like old Vamana, get that out of my face, but this one pretty nice.
It is definitely a nice skin for Vamana. So it won't feel too bad about it, as we're just about to move into the game, or really we actually already have. I want to see where everyone's going to be going early, and I want to see what this Cupid starts with in particular, JMac. I'm wondering if he's going to be trying to go with an early Runeforge rush, but looks like that is what's going to be. Mage's Blessing and then a Runeforge rush, just as I was thinking.
Right into the mid lane as well. So this is going to be a mid lane Cupid. And their backs against the wall. Normally,
there's Boots.
Hey, he got tier 2 of them at the start of the game. So he's gonna be. Hold on, he went Purification Beads. That's not teleport.
That is weird. So if he hadn't missed Boots last game, I'd say he got these on purpose. But do you think there's a chance? Beads doesn't look too dissimilar from Teleport. They do look kind of close.
See, that's the thing, man, is there are always problems with relics looking like other ones, and Beads and Teleport were always one of those ones. It's very possible that he may have gotten them mixed up, or he might just be getting that out of respect because this is a Mercury and an Agni coming in and then an Erlong Shen. There's a lot of lockdown in CC that could come through for it.
It absolutely is a lot of control. You're 100% right. So I trust Granite Fiber that this is just out of respect for all the control. He wants to make sure he's okay. I don't know if I love it. Vamana is very good at getting out of CC with the Colossal Fury, and he's very good at punishing you when he has teleport and can rotate often. So even if that's the call, I don't love it, but I'm going to trust that that's what it is instead of just maybe a mistake as he rushes the boots right away.
Or it's an Athena on the other side, and you just got to get beads for Athena, being real.
Maybe so. Athena could certainly come over here often with Defender of Olympus more than other Guardians, so that could be part of it. But even still, it's not what I would expect early. Is we did see some nice damage in the middle lane coming out from Failure by Design, but it's Griffinage who's leveled up.
Leto has been consistent with these timers on the Lone Uncle. I think he's hit like 4 or 5 of them on a row. Oh, no. That's how I'm going for.
That's not good.
Not so much fun there for Granite. Those boots. Hey, benefit of the doubt. He got boots 3 first item as opposed to 5th item. But he gets first blooded and loses that Totem of Ku. And that Totem of Ku is going to really pay dividends for Oswald here. We didn't even think about that interaction of that extra movement speed for this Mercury.
That's right. That's gonna be nice for Oswald if he can grab that early on. It just equals extra power for Mercury as Purple Buff gets stolen away on the dual lane side and Kenny Alpha comes in aggressively. I do want to point out whatever happened in the duo on the solo line because I wasn't watching it. Beads weren't used, so whatever they picked up for early, it wasn't this. As there's early rotations from Ding Ding slaps the dual lane, Oswald already here. There's a taunt to pull Leto back in, and the easy kill for Oswald Jr., and they absolutely are not done. They want Kenny Alpha, a double for Oswald. He's been popping off all set.
Rotation in from Griffin Agent, nothing from Failure by Design. This is not the start that you want for Team Tree as Ding Ding Slaps picks up 3 quick kills, trying to get maybe a 4th one here as Baby Waluigi makes his rotation over, but quickly makes the rotation back out.
A very nice early rotation from Ding Ding Slaps, and things are already problematic. Mercury's very good. He's even better when he has an early lead like this. And Waluigi and Oswald Jr. was already a big disparity that hurt them last game. They'll hold that thought. Leto coming back in aggressively. He has his eyes on Detonator, or rather Devonator, with a little bit of help from Waluigi. They clean that kill up no problem. And they still have 2 extra members here. It looks like Waluigi is done with this engagement.
Kenny Alpha gets a nice rollout onto Lone Uncle, who's actually able to get a nice angle with it and actually shoot him back somewhat more towards their side of the map, but there was no follow-up there from Leto or Waluigi to be able to follow up onto it. So for now, Lone Uncle will live.
Has made it out of there, at least for now. Meanwhile, Griffinage is being a little bit aggressive. Actually dashes back into the Heart Bomb in the middle lane. No harm, no foul there, I suppose. That's what it is, right? He's taunting, really. He's just showing I'm not even worried.
He's just making sure you don't actually taunt, because if you actually taunt, then you're committing that half a second to hit VET. Instead, he's just gonna dash through the wave, get some damage, and then show you, your damage is nothing to me.
I do want to make sure I remind everyone these teams are playing for a gem prize. It's $1,500 per player, I believe, right, JMac? So
right.
That's pretty nice take home here for a day's work. If this team, whoever it is that comes out on top, right now, Ding Ding Slaps are looking good. They're up about 1,000 gold, but this certainly is not over yet.
Hey, and once they've won that, if you haven't already, that new Camelot bundle did come out with the new Agni skin. Looks really nice, and the On Her skin as well. I mean, they can put that towards that. Many other great skins to come through. I mean, that 6.4 patch notes had some really nice skins. I'm going to be real.
I think Leto might be in trouble in dual lane, though, JMac. He's running for his life, but you can't get away from the fastest god alive, especially with those Talaria boots, which you highlighted back in Game 1. That extra movement speed is real nice for Mercury.
While that was all happening, I actually had eyes on Failure. I was able to catch the end of that kill there for it, but Failure ulted the mid wave just to try and clear it out there. A little bit of a questionable thing. Usually we see it with gods like On Her because it's such a low cooldown, but that Fields of Love is not the biggest one. He is going to dash through. He's out of mana, and Griffin, he's going to go right on top. A nice stun into the Flame Wave. Just needs a couple of bombs. Meanwhile, Baby Waluigi able to get a kill on the Lone Uncle. Failure juking him out pretty well.
And Kenny Alpha also trying to stay alive. This fight's happening all over the place, but Oswald's able to go back in and catch him with the dash, but Leto's there instead to hit him with the time rift. An easy kill for the Kronos. But now can they lock down Devonator? They've got the root landed successfully. Overhead kick was not enough damage. Baby Waluigi wants to punish, and he will with the Prana onslaught.
It's going to be 4 for 4 now. Tree able to bring it back in their favor. Maybe looking to get Griffin Age as well, as Leto's going to get the time stop and a time rift again.
Nice.
Leto's been on point, and Kenny's going to get it with the shockwave. That brings it up now 5 kills for Tree.
This is much, much better from Team Tree throughout this early game. But I do want to put this more, I think, blame-wise at Ding Ding Slaps than praise for Team Tree. It's been a little bit much of over-aggression from Ding Ding Slaps on this left-hand side, especially if they're not going to fully commit to vision, because they really weren't ready for the rest of this rotation. Like you said, Failure by Design had a pretty good situation against Lone Uncle around the red buff, and meanwhile, the rest of Ding Ding Slaps were still aggressing over by purple. They weren't quite on the same page.
It was a lot of all over the place, and nobody really wants to commit to a single location. And that's where fights will start going more in favor of Tree, because they do have those more zoning style characters that they can have in between. Baby Waluigi able to run a single target down for as far as he wants to go. Failure able to cut off a path. Speaking of cutting off the path, Baron 5 is going to be able to find Baby Waluigi the whole while, and the heal's going to come in just in time for that Heart Bomb to actually stun out Baron.
Man, Granite Fiber is still behind in the dual lane. Let me see if I can pull up these XP charts, because he's got to be way down there. He's at 316. Meanwhile, Baron 5 is at 476. That's a huge disparity in the solo lane for really no other reason, I mean, except for his one death.
And it looks like he's had his buffs constantly invaded this game too. I'm not sure if he's been able to actually get a handle on his own blue buff. And Oswald gonna steal away the red buff from right under 3 people on Team Tree's nose. They all get there just at the last second. Griffin Age might want to be careful as Baby Waluigi make the rotation in. Griffin Age holding on to his dash to make sure he can use it to get to a much safer spot.
Griffin Age with the baits, though. Waluigi bites, dunks in with the ultimate. But now can they get away from the Cupid with those arrows? I don't think they can. Failure by Design at least makes it a 1-for-1. Oswald had the ultimate charge just in case he needed it. No way he goes back in here. Okay, good. He leaves.
I saw him peeking through that alleyway. I thought maybe Oswald was going to do something crazy, but I don't think he's that crazy with a 3/4 health Cupid.
No, that would not be the play, I don't think so. So he definitely does fall back. That was close from Waluigi. They at least make that 1-for-1, but Griffin Age and Oswald Jr., they might need to pull up a little bit. I think they played so well in Game 1 that they're bringing a little bit of that into Game 2, JMac. They're playing a little bit too carelessly, and they are still ahead. Yes, things are still going well for them, but I think things could be even cleaner if they calm down a little bit, as there's aggression to Leto over on Duo.
Well, Leto's going to get the stun on the Devonator and the time rift as well. Leto able to find Devonator almost lazy backing there into the lane as they make that rotation over from the Gold Fury pit, able to get that kill onto him. And
solo as well.
Bring it back.
They've got aggression over the solo side. Colossal Fury coming out from Granite Fiber. This means he won't get stunned if Oswald goes back in. They'll just settle for the Totem of Ku instead.
Again, getting that totem, not a bad thing here for Ding Ding Slaps, as it does help out this Mercury, gives him that extra power with the movement. So he's going to throw him against the wall, and Oswald just punches Baby Waluigi in the face, tells him to sit down as they steal that blue buff again.
Hasten Katana and Talaria boots. He's just so fast, and there's really nowhere for this lonely baby to try and go. Very slow jukes, nets him a kill. Baron Fies gets the credit for it. He almost dies to the tier 1 tower, but they make it back out. And yet again, it's the solo jungle side of the map that's getting out of control for Team Tree.
Ding Ding Slaps now brings the kills back in their favor, 8-7. If we take a look at the charts, 1.3k gold and experience roughly in favor of Ding Ding Slaps. All those little peaks and spikes that you see from Tree starting so well, but again, we're seeing this little dip down where it might start going Ding Ding Slaps' way. The first major objective, the Gold Fury, is really where we can start seeing this game turn.
And this game really should be further in Ding Ding Slap's control, but they over-aggressed over on Duo side by purple buff. Hold that thought, actually. Kronos might be able to have himself a kill, and he does. Lone Uncle ends up falling. Very well done by Leto. He's on a killing spree.
Leto taking those man fights again, able to get the advantage onto Lone Uncle and bring himself up 3-2. Even though he's got those 2 deaths on him, those have been multi-man rotations over to kill him. So far in these 1v1s, he's been going, I think he's been on top and won almost every 1v1 he's taken.
Yeah, he's come out of them looking very good, and maybe that's just something that these teams are, or that he's good at. It feels like in game one, even when they were losing, Leto was able to get the 1v1s against Griffin Age and against Lone Uncle. He's just got to find a way to help the whole team stay relevant so that those 1v1s are more impactful for him. Because right now, just as isolated kills, they don't do a whole lot for your team.
Well, when it does come down to the mages that we kind of talked about last game, where Sol and Izanami, Izanami being the hunter, are two of the best tower pushes in the game. When late game comes, Kronos himself is pretty decent with those tower pushes, able to get that 45%. As Griffin Age gonna pop that Aegis, immunes the majority of the damage from the Cupid, drops the bomb in, avoids the ult from Baby Waluigi, but it's just not enough to save him as they get a pick off in the mid lane. And unfortunately, Granite takes a spill in the solo as well.
I gotta think though that might favor Team Tree. At this point, you're probably not putting your eggs in the Granite Fiber basket. He's already so far behind. But being able to slow down this Agni is a huge boon for Team Tree to have less to worry about in terms of this mid lane mage. I don't know. I think I might. The tier 1 tower is nice. That does help Ding Ding Slaps out a lot. But still, I think that Team Tree finding a pick is good.
Baron 5's again going for that Berserker Shield rush. We saw it last game. It didn't really seem like it was going to do all that much, but been making it work, and going into what I assume is going to be the Void Shield next. I don't think we're going to see the double mid-level shields here with the Glad and the Berserkers. Not really all that efficient for him.
Right now, though the kills might look even, this experience disparity is slowly becoming a real problem, I would say, between these two teams. Right now, so far ahead is Oswald over Baby Waluigi and Baron over Granite Fiber. Everywhere else is barely even, except Leto does have a lead over Lone Uncle, but it's just a little bit too much in Ding Ding Slaps' favor.
Well, Leto's going to try and get something on the Lone Uncle. It's going to force the Purification Beads out of the carry, and Kenny Alpha making the rotation over. Baby Waluigi, he's come over as well. It's two of them. Ding Ding Slaps gets Pyro. All the while, they're baiting it out. There's three here. They're going to make the dive on the Lone Uncle. He's going to use the ultimate in his own. Overhead kick. Not enough damage. Leto trying to get, he will get the time stop to get the kill on the Lone Uncle, but he might trade his life out here. No, gets that rewind.
That was very clean from Team Tree to be able to juggle that aggro and find that kill on the left-hand side, and they absolutely had to because the Pyromancer was going down in favor of Ding Ding Slaps elsewhere. Now with this man advantage, perhaps they can rotate over and try and find a little bit more, but now Oswald joining the fray as well, so it won't be quite as easy as Team Tree might have wanted to look for more in this jungle, but a very nice kill under the tier 1.
Do you see that Golden Blade was picked up by Oswald, so he's still going to get that extra damage taken through onto those jungle camps. Not going to be quite the same as it used to be since it no longer procs with Made You Look, but still, with those basic attacks, able to clear out those camps very quickly, makes steals pretty efficient for him.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Made You Look and one auto still full clears the camps for him with this Golden Blade start. So you're right, he can't just one it anymore, which I miss desperately, but one auto is okay. I fought hard to keep it, but they were like, no, it's gotta change. So.
It's alright, just blame FDOT for it.
Yeah, I always do, as Oswald wants the kill onto Granite over in the Soul Lane, but again, I don't think these kills are valuable anymore, JMac. I don't know if this is the most efficient use of Oswald's time. He's got to come over and stop Leto, who's kind of running away with the duo lane, instead of just picking on this itty-bitty Vamana.
They're trying to get something, a good time stop. He's going to keep Devonator right in place, and a good time ripped afterward. They're trying to get at the reach, a good Purification Beads. Can he just walk right past Devonator? He's going to get it. Supernova's not going to be enough. The Cataclysm stopped him, and Lone Uncle gets turned on. Old Devonator makes it out just barely.
Yeah, it sure would have been nice to have a Mercury there instead of beating up on this level 10 Vamana, but either way, they can't quite finish that kill on the Leto, and even if the Supernova had been closer, I wonder if it would have been enough. Kenny Alpha was nearby with that Geb shield as well, so they had a way out for Leto eventually. But a nice try, they just couldn't quite clean it out. And now 4 deaths for Lone Uncle in this solo. A struggle in the second game compared to game 1. And a real win condition for Team Tree. Leto is absolutely a win condition. And Waluigi, by the way, having a much better game too. They could play around these two.
I think that's the big thing more than anything else, because Leto was doing all right on his own last game. Not really winning, not really losing, just kind of holding his own and holding that lane up. And now Baby Waluigi is making himself known. He's showing presence in these lanes and in these fights. And Oswald trying to run down the big rock man. Going to throw him right against the wall. And Kenny, I'm sorry, my friend, you have nowhere to go. Leto a little too late on that rotation as the support falls.
Oswald played that so well, too. He min-maxed his autos into the special delivery to interrupt the Geb's rollout right before the CC immunity. Now some trouble, though, for this Cupid in the middle lane. Heart Bomb does land into Oswald, but he doesn't care. Spreads the Heart Stun to his friends just to share the love. And that's another easy kill. A Rampage for Oswald and the Gold Fury on the back end of this. Lado's nearby and actually forces Lone Uncle to die to the Gold Fury.
Gold Fury still being up here. They could go for it. Waluigi's trying to get it. Ding Ding Slaps will get the Gold Fury. Oswald's able to make it out, but now Baron 5s has made the rotation over. That's going to force the ultimate out of Baby Waluigi, trying to find Griffin Age, but nobody can grab him. The time rift just off the mark.
And can't find it over the wall either, but it is going to be Griffin, or rather Granite Fiber coming in and helping clean up the kill. Good rewind gets Lado out of there. And now a chance for them to really turn this fight. Stun into Cataclysm. Kenny Alpha finds that one. And all of a sudden, Team Tree have turned things around in this team fight portion. Excuse me for wording.
A lot of this is falling on the hands of Lado. Baby Waluigi, while making great rotation, Lado, that rewind, a lot of people forget that when you use that rewind, that's a cooldown reset entirely. Those abilities come back off of cooldown, and you have the access to them again. Using it perfectly, baiting two people back towards him, lines them up, gets that stop time, and immediately able to turn that one around thanks to another Cataclysm from Kenny Alpha to save his life and keep him going. Use that over at that tier 1 tower. We saw Devonator kind of make a veer off towards his side of the map, and they ignored him to get the kill on the Lone Uncle thanks to the help of a Cataclysm. Kenny Alpha really playing smart this game.
Devonator might be too far forward, though, on the duo side. Oswald's going to come for Waluigi on the back end, but Alpha as good as ever with those Geb shields. In fact, Oswald has to use the B to try and get away from Lado, but he catches him over the wall. That's nuts. Lado,
oh my God.
Do it to him. Give him the hands.
I think he's giving him more than the hands, as Griffin ends up giving Lado the hands of his own. Failure turning it around, sharing that love to the enemy team. And Fair by Design now level 15 on this mid lane Cupid. We keep kind of grazing over this, but this mid lane Cupid is now a level up on his opposition.
You're right. I haven't been paying enough attention to Failure by Design's plays here so far either. He's having a nice game for himself, and when they really do start grouping up to the 5v5s, Fields of Love is pretty good as far as team fight ultimates go. That's difficult enough to deal with. It'll cut off special delivery, cut off the 72 transformations for this Erlong, the dashes from this Athena. It'll be hard for them to deal with all this and this Chronos at the same time.
It's a much bigger circle, a much easier one to hit than I'm a Monster, I'll say that. Might not hit quite as hard, but you can get much more people inside that ultimate, that massive giant cripple field. That it's a cripple and a slow, and then if you get stuck inside of it, that mez on top of it can set up for so much damage for your team, especially for Lado here.
Pyromancer looks like we'll be going down for Ding Ding Slaps. That's not the end of the world, as Waluigi's going to get there a little bit too late. But it is nice to get a little bit of extra. But actually, Lado's the one that might be in trouble on the left-hand side. I say he's in trouble. No, he's winning the 2v1. Whoa. And Failure by Design is able to come in and clean up with the Heart Bomb. Now Devonator just going to try and get out of here with Defender of Olympus and just barely makes it.
Barely, but I don't know if that was the safest option for him to go, as the rest of his team is pretty low on that side of the map as well. Baron 5's going to get the heal off with that 9 turns Blessing. Griffin Age sitting fully healthy here for his team. He's going to get rooted in place and slapped with the Prana Onslaught. Pin is going to be good. The dash in from Oswald. Luckily, it looks like he didn't connect onto that one. That might have been a death for him, even if he did hit with it.
I see some people in chat talking about the Crusher on Cupid. I think you guys are undervaluing getting flat pin and attack speed and all in the same item, even if his whole kit doesn't synergize with the passive. While I talk about this, with that dash, Griffin Age has given his life away. He will make it 1-for-1, but there's no way he makes out of here, right? I mean, he just can't, right?
No.
Even with Aegis, right? Please don't let my man live, right? There's no way, right? But the pin goes in. He's gonna make it out.
Maybe for the time, he's going to get the dash to reset onto it, and the fire is going to spread to Baby Waluigi. He's got to walk away. Griffin Age makes it out, but I can't say the same for anybody going up against Lado, as he's able to get a turnaround kill. Failure by Design has to dash back under his tower. Devonator continuing the chase. He's going to charge with that preemptive strike, trying to get that reach, but it's not going to find a home. Lado, no, out of mana, trying to fight up against it, but he's level 16.
And that taunt was too late there from Devonator. I don't know if it just came off cooldown or if he was doing the shield wall first, then the taunt, which is a cardinal sin in my mind. If you're playing Athena, ladies and gentlemen, at home, taunt first. I even say taunt before you dash. Just taunt and let your team follow up. Your shield wall damage is so irrelevant to me in my games. Just taunt.
Make sure to taunt before you taunt so they know that you're taunting them.
That's right. VET, then do the literal confound ability.
Yeah. I mean, that's the real play right there. That's the only way to play it. If you're not actually taunting before you taunt them, how will they ever know it? how will Devonator ever get out of this one as 3 players surround him, and then he's unable to get that preemptive strike charge up. Finally, we'll get it, but right into Kenny Alpha, who hits him with a rollout of his own, and over the top goes Baby Waluigi.
That was great timing on the ultimate from Waluigi, too, and it sets up a double kill for the Robin. Well earned as he used the ults to get away from the stun from Griffin Age. And that's just Devonator being too far forward in mid by himself. I have no idea why he was there, and he pays a hefty price for it. And now, the Oni Fury going the way of Team Tree.
No way anybody from Ding Ding Slap's able to get this one. They're actually pushing their way over towards the Fire Giant. I don't think that they're starting it up here. Oswald and Lone Uncle going. I'm not sure if they have enough damage between them, but so far, nobody's made a full rotation. The commit is starting to come through from Tree. 3 players on the way, but out of the Fire Giant pit, here comes the Athena ult on top. Fire Giant's already down to a third, but here comes Baby Waluigi trying to get it away. He'll be able to drag out one. Ding Ding Slaps will get FG, but at what cost, Finch?
They are able to get the objective, but you're right. They've got to make it out of here with at least some of their lives. Griffin Age ends up falling. Lone Uncle now has a lot of work to do if he wants to make his way back out of here. Lato finds a double kill, and that Fire Giant officially not worth it. It's only on Devonator, I believe, at this point, too, so it's just not worth all their lives. In fact, if Team Tree play this correctly, they should get this tier 2 in mid as well.
I just flipped over to the player damage to see how it's going. I expected Lato to be pretty high up on the charts, but he is leading the game right now by at least 6,500 player damage over the next highest, which is the mid lane Griffin Age.
Wow. I think that everyone wants a game 3. Even Ding Ding Slaps at this point is a great confound comes out from Devonator that keeps Baron 5s alive. That actually is huge. So now they have a chance for him to back and maybe put up some kind of defense. But Granite Viber, much more relevant this game, helps them get the mid-Phoenix. Sonic Boom, though, hits everybody.
That's going to go through into the back, and Oswald's going to be able to pick up one. Heart Bomb's going to stun on top of him. He's sitting at about two-thirds HP. Lato's going to find one. Griffin Age's going to get another on to Baby Waluigi. Lato with the double kill going on. Might be able to turn this around. Lato's going to get the triple kill onto him. Lato's still sticking around. There's Lato, 2 players ready for him. He's going to go for it, but gets the rewind off. Goes right back into the hands of Griffin Age.
No man available to him. This is going to be tough for Lato, even with his autos hitting as hard as they are. He's almost got Griffin Age, at least forced out the Aegis, but that's a shutdown from Lone Uncle, and the shutdown bonus is pretty nice here in Season 6. But this right now has swung entirely back in favor of Team Tree. The Fire Giant call, JMac, I mean, that just wasn't it.
No.
They needed to have enough wards to know to just give up on it as soon as they saw someone.
But you can see if you look at the map right now, obviously it's been a little bit of time since that Fire Giant, but there are no wards, not a single one that I can see on this map have been placed here. This is a completely unrevealed map for both of these two teams, and even for the winning team of Tree, that's still dangerous because they all had to make that rotation on the hunch of, well, we don't see them anywhere, so maybe they're doing, the Pyro, or maybe they're doing the Fire Giant here. And luckily, they make the right call to go over and check that Fire Giant, able to basically erase it entirely from existence here. Even though they didn't get it, they took everybody who had that buff off the map.
Well, big power spike item finish for Oswald. He's got the Deathbringer now. So that means that the big leader for Ding Ding Slaps will certainly be slapping. But what about Team Tree? I mean, at this point, Polly is finished there for Lato. He's got a big power spike item for himself as well. I mean, it's going to be the battle of this Kronos and this Mercury.
And we kind of saw a little bit of how that went the last time there, as both of them were at fairly the same HP. Lato had to use his purification beads into it, but Oswald unable to stay alive throughout it. And that's really thanks to that Bancross talent. We didn't even mention it for Lato. The lower his health gets, the more damage he's going to be doing and the more lifesteal he gains from it. So now with that extra 12% lifesteal with Polynomicon, he might be living through a lot more fights than we can give him credit for.
He might want to be careful about when he starts those fights, though. No relics available for Lato right now, so he's got to be extra careful. Either that or extra quick to use the rewind, at least if they start the fight right now. If they wait a bit, he'll have beads, which makes him exponentially safer. So it does look like they are going to slow down their push for now, and at least wait for that, as they've got fire minions in mid, and Fire Giant's still a good way away from spawning, so we'll probably see them slow the game down.
We did see the Pyromancer go the way of Team Tree, able to bring that one to their side, thanks to Failure by Design soloing that one out. No lifesteal yet on this Cupid. I'm curious if it will be maybe a Blood Forge replacing that Mage's Blessing when that late game comes.
That's not a bad call, and that's what I want to go into. I like the Blood Forge. I'm also curious at where we're going to see him go with the rest of this final slot. He's got the Concise and the Executioner there already for Failure by Design, so Some lifesteal wouldn't hurt. Maybe even a second pen item. That's the call he wants to make. But look at this. Team Tree are pushing down for this left side Phoenix. And I don't think Ding Ding Slaps recognize. It's only Griffin Age who's here. Kenny Alpha is there to be the one that actually tanks the objective. And as long as they focus the bird, they should be able to get it. Griffin Age does find failure by design. A 3-man taunt comes out from Devonator, and Griffin Age is right there to follow up with the damage. A good Cataclysm sets up for the team, but it's Lone Uncle who's low. Lato punishes him, and they get the Phoenix.
Lato's able to get one. Phoenix is down. Griffin Age goes all the way back to the fountain. Lato, he's going to get the rewind off. That's going to give him about 3/4 of his health back. He's going to go right onto Baron 5. He is chunking down that Polyproc. So big for him. The tank is gone. Devonator is sitting duck, a good stun, and it's just enough to get the support out.
Yeah, I wonder if that was the mantle. Something got him out of there when he was in a whole lot of trouble. They'll be here in time for this mid Phoenix to respawn in this game. No, they're all backing? Question mark? I guess they're worried because Oswald's back up at this point.
Kenny.
Griffin Age has enough damage to take down Kenny Alpha. Meanwhile, on the left-hand side, Devonator's chasing down Granite Fiber.
Well, Griffin Age did it. He killed Kenny, who was lazy packing at the speed buff, or trying to head towards the speed buff to back there, but Griffin H able to catch him out. And a little bit of a sloppy disengage there from Team Tree as they thought, okay, well, we got a few kills, so we're getting safe. And I think it was actually Griffin H's bomb stun over the top that ended up getting the stun to save his support, allowing him to live and get back to that fountain. So big heads-up play from that Agni. Now level 20 has pulled back in ahead of Failure, who was ahead of him for majority of the game, but with that Divine Ruin online, we're really starting to see the power of this anti-heal as this late game comes in.
Well, you're right. That mid game was dominated by the Cupid, but now you're feeling pretty good about having yourself an Agni on your squad, as Griffin Age has been playing well. That left side Phoenix Siege was nice for Team Tree, but it certainly was costly. They lost a couple lives and couldn't continue to push. And the gold at this point in the game, I mean, it's essentially just even, JMac. This game is so back and forth between these two teams.
It's a dead even game at this point. I mean, even with 2,000 experience going back and forth between them, slightly in favor of Tree. I mean, this
could change it.
This is all going for them. With that left side Phoenix down, there's no one making a contestation here for Ding Ding Slaps. Team Tree looks like they're just going to snag this Fire Giant for free.
I don't know if Fields of Love was necessary here, but
no.
They absolutely do grab this FG. They didn't have a ton of wards, so maybe just wanted some confirm. Didn't want to have the same problem that they had last game around the Gold Fury with the Scylla, so I'd rather have it secured than not. So the Fields of Love there is fine with me.
I was looking because I saw Failure get rid of that Mage's Blessing, thought maybe he was going to buy an item, but maybe didn't have enough gold for it, ended up just undoing it and take that Mage's Blessing back for himself. So not quite getting that final item online compared to his opposition. Griffin Age finishes out with a Soul Reaver. That's going to be a very easy to spread item for damage for that Agni between the bombs and even just dropping down Noxious Fumes. Get that with the bomb coupled up for the stun. That's 2 procs of that instantly.
Yeah, and when there's extra health on the team, it feels nice. High the Urchin Guardian, both carrying plenty of HP on it, so there's a chance he can punish Waluigi, the Runeforge there, a little bit extra to help you out up against Failure by Design. So I don't mind this at all as they barrel down the right side lane. Lato and Kenny Alpha are the first ones forward, and you want to keep your eyes on Lato, but a 2-man stun coming out from Oswald to get this fight started. And Kenny Alpha gets removed. Oh. So does Granite Fiber. Griffin Age turn that siege around in a heartbeat.
You're going to go right in on the Baby Waluigi. The dash not going to connect, and the taunt not going to do anything for him either. They're just going to go onto the speed buff. Lato's going to get a nice stun onto Oswald, but that's all that it's going to do for him. Fields of Love's going to zone them out for the time being, and that will allow for these 3 to continue forward and possibly get themselves out. But that to me comes down to, once again, we talked last game about how it was the lack of boots for Granite Fiber, but most importantly, the lack of true magic defense yet again here from Granite Fiber just allows for Griffin Age to barrel out the damage onto him and kill them instantly.
Yeah, and by the time you start building magic defense, which is what we're seeing from this Buckler, it oftentimes is too late. And especially if he's only going into a hybrid item. I mean, we just talked about it. I mean, Spear of the Magus, Soul Reaver, Divine Ruin. I don't think hybrid is going to cut it for Granite Fiber at this point in the game. It's just not going to be enough. So hopefully we see something different. But he wasn't the only one. Kenny Alpha blew up as well. It was just a nice ultimate from Oswald that really turned that fight around.
Between the ultimate from Oswald, the taunt in from Devonator, and then the bomb stun to follow from Griffin Age.
Oh, we need Lato.
2 more. Lato, he's going to get the rewind off. That'll get him back to safety now. Baron 5 taking quite a lot of poke. That Heart Bomb's going to stun out 2 of them. Baron 5 not going to make it out as Baby Waluigi turns around and able to pick him off, and Devonator looking like he will fall as well.
Hey, man, Team Tree giveth and they taketh away, as they end up losing 2 on the right-hand side, but then taking 2 on the duo side of the map. As Oswald has his ultimate charged up, he doesn't want to get caught out by Kenny Alpha, and looks like he should be out of there, but now only 3 members to defend up against 5.
Holy fast boy. Oswald has built 3 katanas and the Talaria boots. He's able to zoom his way across this map and get himself back to safety. Fields of Love expended, but nothing gained off of it aside from really just the beads from Oswald.
Yeah, Sonic Boom forces the beads off and failure by design. The damage is too good coming out from Lone Uncle, and Oswald comes in to make him pay. No relics available, though, so Waluigi has the chance to chase him down, but Griffin Age wants Lado. There's the blink to create some space, and all of a sudden, yet again, the team that pushed ends up getting punished. They at least, though, get the left side Phoenix.
You're starting to see the power of Agni coming in late game with those safe ranged poke between those bombs. He's even able to set up his stun with that flame wave, allowing him to guarantee the bomb afterward, or maybe even 2 of them. Agni's such a diverse god, such a simple kit for him. Everybody kind of forgets how simple Agni's kit seam is at base, but the execution of what you can do with those abilities is what really sets the Agni players apart from each other, and you can see it's really coming to fruition.
JMac, is a ranged stun good? Do you like that?
Personally, I would like to have a range stun on my team.
Yeah, I think so. And again, I want to make sure I'm clear. It's like a big old circle, and it does a ton of damage. Is that okay? Would you want that?
I would say the circle's about as big as this camp that Baby Waluigi's in, and I would say that's pretty big and pretty nice.
Yeah, I think it's something good. Agni, I think, is always going to have value as long as he's got that noxious fumes, as Pyromancer ends up being dropped by Ding Ding Slaps. This game virtually even, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, this is game 2. If Ding Ding Slaps wins, the set's over, and the gem prize is all theirs. If Team Tree close it out, then they could force a game 3 and still have a chance to win it. And it feels like a lot is riding on this fight here around this Pyromancer and Fire Giant if Ding Ding Slaps want to be here.
Pyromancer looks like it's going to go uncontested here by Ding Ding Slaps. They're just going to let it go. And Griffin H has sold his boots, does have that Elixir of Speed online for himself, and now Oswald looking to push down this Primal Fury all by himself, and while it doesn't seem like it's going to be a whole lot going for him because the Fire Giant is spawning on the other side, it's a very close one. Lado's trying to chase him down, but I don't think he's going to catch the fastest god alive, and because of that, they know that there's nobody to defend against this Fire Giant. Might again go the way of Tree.
Yeah, this should go to them for free. No one from Ding Ding Slaps are around, so they should be able to get this one very easily. Normally, I would say this is a huge deal, and Ding Ding Slaps are in some trouble, but they've done some very impressive Phoenix defenses like 3 times already this game. It seems like neither one of these teams can cleanly initiate in and make sure that they can take one of these fights in a big way. So Ding Ding Slaps certainly still have a chance to punish here when they come group up for the defense.
The 2 big factors I'm looking at in this next Phoenix defense are, do they go for Griffin Age or and allow Lado to push into these Phoenixes, or are they just gonna allow Griffin Age to keep dropping these bombs on top of them? Every single Phoenix engage has been Griffin sitting kind of just off to the side corner, gets 1 big bomb stun, and that's kind of the big startup of the fight, and no one's able to really defend against it.
And I do want to make sure I point out, as Oswald just sold his boots, it looks like, for Midgardian, I assume that he has the speed elixir as well at this point with how fast he's moving. And it looks like it is, since he's up at the 442. It might just be because of the katanas, honestly. He might not even need to have the boots. But either way, he's gone very defensive. He has Onis and the Midgardian male. He's going to be hard to kill, and with the Deathbringer still doing decent damage.
Lado tried to get aggressive onto 3 earlier. Luckily, his team was there to back him up, and they weren't able to get anything off of it. Devonator just taking about a quarter of his health and poke, but everybody grouping up on this right-hand side, aside from Lado, who's pushing up towards the mid lane. You can see Baby Waluigi making that rotation there as well, trying to split the opposition, see if they can get some. But Griffin Age, wisely, is the one who goes over towards this left side. They know that he knows that he is the one who's going to have to hold these defenses.
Yeah, it's a 3-2 push split right now in favor of Team Tree, and this could be trouble. Lado ends up getting caught by the special delivery, but Oswald shrugs it off and is able to use his beads to reposition, but that's the rewind out from Lado as well. So 2 critical cooldowns blown on both sides. Right side Phoenix pushes here now, though, and it's failure by design, who has plenty of damage. They bring the Phoenix low, they bring it down, and the mid Phoenix, they've opened up the door entirely of the base for Ding Ding Slaps.
And they know that now Tree's going to make the rotation to the left side. Lado, he's probably not going to care about having minions. He's going to just go right onto it and chunk it down. That extra 45% damage thanks to his Accelerate passive. Ultimate from Oswald, not going to hit anybody, though.
But it does get him to the backside of the fight, and maybe that's enough. A big taunt comes through as well. Cataclysm stuns just about everyone as Granite Fiber's the one who ends up low. Oswald has the special delivery blocked, and he'll be the first one sent to the afterlife. They get the lockdown to Baron 5s as well as Granite Fibers finds Devonator. Devonator gets one in return, but it's 3-for-1 in favor of Team Tree. And JMac, this looks like a game 3 to me.
It's looking like it as 4 players steam into the Titan room, and nothing that Ding Ding Slaps can do, as Tree able to slap one of their own and bring the scoreboard up to 1-1.
Wow, what an impressive turnaround for Team Tree. I'm looking specifically at Baby Waluigi. I know this game was almost entirely on Lado's back, and I will say that to open things up, but Waluigi had an abysmal game 1 for me, JMac. He was part of the problem, but here in game 2, he was part of the solution. He played so much better on this Robin. He was all over the place, causing a ton of problems for everybody on the side of Ding Ding Slaps. I mean, I love the way that they shrugged off that game 1 and improved here in game 2.
One thing that's been real big in Season 5 and Season 6 so far has been the jungle presence. If your jungler is constantly making these rotations, getting ganks, whether he gets the kill or not, putting that pressure in the lanes is the big factor for if your team is going to be able to push ahead. Game 1, we didn't see any of that from Baby Waluigi. He did virtually nothing on the circuit. This game, he's in fights, he's in team fights, he's getting he's making rotations to lanes, getting kills or getting assists. You see 9, 4, and 10 to finish out his slash line there. He was a factor in this game, and that, despite the fact that, Lado doing almost 38,000 damage on this Chronos, which is an absurd number to talk about, by the way. Lado basically kind of trying to carry his team as hard as he can. Baby Waluigi's presence really helped to bring this team to victory. And Granite Fiber finally realizing that boots are the way.
Yeah, and let's not get it twisted. It was Lado who won this game for Team Tree, but he had a much more support this time. I think Kenny Alpha also played very well, and I want to make sure I support him. But I think that if you're on Ding Ding Slaps, you can't have Oswald spend that much time in solo lane earlier on. I have seen no evidence yet that Granite Fiber is going to win the lane, even if it's a 1v1, and even if he does, that he'd be a threat. If I'm Oswald, I'm over in duo lane doing whatever I can to stop Lado from wrecking my team in the late game.
That was kind of one thing I mentioned in game number 1, even despite the fact that Tree was losing. Lado is the playmaker for this team. He is the kind of the big name of this team. And you see this game, he went 16-5. He went, I think, 12-10 or 11-10 last game. He's putting up the kills for his team. He's taken the 1v1s and winning just about every single one of them. You've got to shut this guy down when game 3 comes. Forget Granite Fiber. He went Granite Fiber went 1-7 this last game. He didn't put up hardly anything. Even his player damage was low,
in the game.
Below even Kenny Alpha, in which Cataclysm does provide a lot of damage late game. But regardless, solo lane didn't do anything for him this game. It was all on the back, really, of Lado and Baby Waluigi. We got to see some shutdown in this duo lane next game.
Yeah, I don't want to see them over there at all, but it's not up to us, JMac. It's up to Ding Ding Slaps to make those adjustments in game number 3. That's going to be the decider match, the rubber match, to see who's going to be the winner here of the showdown in the alleyway. But the players need a little bit of time, JMac, to get everything ready for game 3. We need a little bit of time, too. I drank all my water during that match, so I'm going to have to refill my cup. So we're going to take a little bit of time, get everything ready for game 3. You guys don't go anywhere. Make sure you stick right here with Aliway so we can keep things coming for you in the showdown of the alleyway.